Survey says stream. Stream. Hey, what is up, you guys? YouTube tells me that I am live. Friday evening, what better thing to do than hang out with you friends? Yes, this is the iPhone 10. I got it today. I'm kind of jazzed about it. Still a phone. We'll talk about it in a little bit, but I think it does some things pretty well. I'm not going to lie, pretty well. Let's pop in here, see what's going on, making sure everything's working good on the stream. You guys, Friday night, probably actually a lot of people that are listening to me right now, you're watching it after the stream because it takes a few minutes for people to get in. Stream status is good. Yeah, new iPhones. We're going to be talking about this, the Panasonic LX-100. This is a beast of a compact camera. I also have the Panasonic LX-10, lending it to a friend to try out because that is another incredible compact camera, which is super cool. And I don't know if I talked about AirPods. Got AirPods. These are pretty cool as well. Vanessa, nice top. Thank you. Representing Hope Town, designed by a local designer. Greg Moore says, hey man, turn your hat around. Shut up, Greg. Greg's my business partner, aka business wife, hanging out. How's it look over there yonder? Those of you who are watching, look and sound okay. One's Game says, Justin. Hey, hi. Welcome to the stream. If you're watching this after the fact, just skip ahead maybe a minute or 2 minutes. I say hi to some of the people that are tuning in on this fine Friday evening. What are we going to get into here? iPhone 10. Guys, I look at the thing and it unlocks. It is wild. One of the things I wasn't sure about is the home button. Was it going to miss the home button? You're giving up all this space to have a home button here, and I don't miss it at all. I think I've already, in a few hours, relearned all the gestures you needed to learn to be able to get around never needing a home button again. I'm good. I've also been working on the selfies, because on this camera you can take front-facing portrait mode where it blurs the background selfies on this. I just don't find selfies are all that flattering for me. So, but it kind of interesting feature. I've been using Megan's iPhone 8 Plus and the camera, which is basically the same cameras in here. It can take some nice photos provided you have enough light. If you don't have enough light, it still doesn't look very good. I think most of my apps are downloaded because I had to restore from a previous version of an iPhone. And I think we're rocking and rolling here. Curtis Paradise says, Jelly, got your phone. I'm waiting 2 weeks. Yeah, actually, I think with TELUS, one of our local providers up here, I pre-ordered. I forgot to stay up till 1 a.m. That was my plan, to stay up till 1 a.m. to pre-order. Completely forgot. I woke up at 6:45. I was like, oh no! But I got in there, pre-ordered, and what do you know? I got it today, which was awesome. What carrier are you on, Curtis? Are you Rogers or TELUS or Bell, or what's your doing that? Curtis Paradise says, you should do a camera review with the phone. Would love to see your perspective on the camera. That's actually one of the first things I want to do. Now, camera could be a few different things, but I want to play around with two things. One, this thing shoots 4K at 60 frames per second, which is you could do slow motion 4K. I want to try that out for video, as well as it shoots 1080p at 240 frames per second, which is ridiculously slow motion. I have to try that out as well. So I want to wait for, it was so cloudy today and gross out, plus work and stuff. I'm hoping tomorrow to at least find 30 minutes, just go and shoot some footage and see what the video camera on this is capable of. And then, the camera as well. Again, I think if you are a much better, looking person, then the selfie mode with this new portrait mode on the front-facing camera where it blurs the background would be awesome. So far, the couple of pictures I took in here, I have reasonably good lighting. And that is the key. For cell phone cameras, you need tons of light. They can look good. And try not to be shaky, but, that ends up being good. No, I didn't wake up, Curtis. I ordered in the morning and it works. You just bought it straight from Apple, yeah. Greg Moore says, are those tearaway pants on the wall? Yeah, these are Greg's tearaway pants. You guys remember when these things used to be a thing? That you'd have your pants and then you could just tear them away. Oh, I forgot those are Greg's tearaway pants. Those have been touching his butt. Gross, you guys. Gross. One's at Games. I'm your second official mega fan. You don't have to be a mega fan. You go do awesome things. We're all just normal people. Cool to be around here. But thank you. Young Boy says, can you buy a Sony RX-100 Mark III and test the depth of field at f1.8 and make a short snow or rain cinematic sequence? I wouldn't buy a Mark III. I would only buy a Mark V because the Mark V has like really good autofocus and Mark IV and back don't have good autofocus. So that would be the only one that I would end up buying is the Mark V. They're going to release a Mark VI here too. But depth of field is going to be solid. We're actually going to talk about this, which is similar to that camera. But the RX-100 it's an amazing camera. You should be able to absolutely get cinematic quality footage, even on a Mark III like from before. But the Mark V is definitely worth the money. I just want to say that. Definitely worth the money. Yeah, what is going on here? Comments. Show us the emoji. So if you guys didn't know this about this iPhone 10 here, is you can, in messages, oh, I wonder if I can do this with Greg. Hold on, nothing too sinister there. Is you have these like poop emojis that like go, and that's actually my face talking, and so I can dial up a message here and select the an emoji, and now it's got my face, and I don't know if you can see this, but this dog, it's probably hard to see, is following my face, and I can talk and send messages like that, which seems silly, but I'm curious to see what they end up doing with that, which could actually be kind of cool, but it's just the start of us having like more and more virtual characters that kind of seem like us, but maybe don't seem like us. Vanessa says, can you please compare the iPhone 8 and the iPhone 10? Yeah, the iPhone 10 has the dual cameras as compared to the iPhone 8, so it can take like much cooler pictures of people. They have the same kind of processor. This one has this wild OLED screen that can do HDR and crazy colors and some amazing things like that. Obviously, the screen on this is going to be bigger than the iPhone 8, even though this is a 6S and this is the iPhone 10. And like honestly, like they're fairly similarly sized, but because of how much more screen you get from this going to the bezels, is it just feels so much bigger. So really over the iPhone 8, you're getting a much better screen, a much better front and rear facing camera. And that's mostly it. The iPhone 8 Plus gives you the better rear facing camera. You just don't get the front facing camera and the fancy screen. And I mean, this one, it just like, it looks cool because the bezels go all the way to the edge. Do you need it? No, but it's cool. What other questions do we got here? Actually, I'm going to get to questions in a second, just if you're curious about this iPhone 10 of what comes in the case. That's a good question. This isn't like an unboxing. You can watch a fancy unboxing video. But inside of here, there was a charging cord, which we've all seen Apple charging cord. The like lightning headphone-y things, a little charger block, and that was basically it. Oh, a headphone to lightning adapter, because I guess you need one of those. And yeah, that was like mostly it. Not that exciting. And obviously the phone. AirPods. You don't need AirPods, but if you have some disposable cash or are looking for a Christmas present, I love my AirPods. Some of my favorite things are, let's see. One, I put them in while I'm doing things, and then I just ask Siri to read me my text messages, and she goes back like through all the text messages I've missed and just starts reading them to me. And she's like, do you want to respond to this one? And I'm like, no. And then she reads me another text message. You want to respond to this one? I'm like, yes. She's like, what do you want to say? And I can do this just like while I'm driving, is catch up on all my text messages. I love that about AirPods. 1Z Game says the iPhone 10 is so expensive though, right? So this is a 64 gigabyte one. I didn't get the 256 gigabyte one because honestly, I never, ever ran out of space on my 6S. But I mean, maybe if you're doing a ton of video, you would. I don't see me shooting video all the time on that. But I have a big iCloud subscription. So all my stuff goes from here and just goes up to the cloud. Like I don't store my photos on my phone. They just go right up to the cloud and it takes care of a lot of the storage. That's where a lot of your storage ends up going. So even with the 64 gigabyte one, I took a slightly cheaper monthly plan to just like offset. It was like $800 after my discount through TELUS, which is wild, but the company pays for that, right? So that helps. Zach Hart's asking, what do you think Canon will make a 4K DSLR that costs less than $6,000? No, that's a great question. Well, I mean, technically a 5D Mark IV is less than $6,000, but that's kind of a joke. I hope soon, because I hope that they can come and compete, because they're missing out on that. What other questions do we have in here? Halloween. That's not really a question. Young boy just young boy. Do you know any cameras that have very blurred background when vlogging? Yes, there are a number. It depends what you're trying to do. This right here, the Sony E5100 is a crop sensor camera if you got a fast lens, which actually, you know what, Sony doesn't make that many fast lenses. But even at the kit lens, it can kind of blur the background, but maybe not as much as something like the Sony RX-100. That is probably one of the best cameras for blurring the background. Panasonic makes lots of great vlogging cameras. You just got to get a lens that can blur the background. I liked having a Panasonic camera with the 15 millimeter, 1.7 with the extra wide angle adapter you could get on it. And that was actually like a really blurred background vlogging style that I liked. But for vlogging, I don't think you have to blur the background. Like when you're vlogging, you don't need a blurry background for that, but when you're turning the camera around and shooting some cinematic things, then yes, you want a blurry background. And I mean, the Sonys could do it. There's basically three. If you just want like an all-in-one camera where you don't need to change the lenses, but is good for vlogging, there's basically three. Sony RX-100 series, the Canon G7X, G5X, G1X, like that series, you can get some. And then the Panasonic, not this one, the LX-10 is also an interesting choice for vlogging. And those are good kind of all-around cameras for vlogging. Let's talk about this briefly though, because this is something new that I picked up. And if you're at all into like photography or video, which you're following this channel, you might be, this is a really neat camera. So one, like it's tiny. Like, I don't know if you can see this. Come on. There we go. It's really not a very large camera, but what this is this is a full micro four thirds sensor, which is like a big sensor that's like 1.33 inches. Big sensor, the same as like Panasonic GH5, GH4, G7, G85, the same style sensor, and it comes with a built-in Leica lens that basically goes from, I think it's around 24 millimeter equivalent, we'll say, like a 12 millimeter on micro four thirds, at f1.7, which is super fast, to basically 70 millimeters or 65 millimeters at f2.8. And so it takes amazing photos in a tiny little form factor, and especially if you're into photography, you get actual like proper aperture rings right here, which is cool. So you can change that quickly, and actually like a shutter ring dial on the top. And I've just taken a few photos with this, and I'm just like kind of blown away by the quality on it. Absolutely amazing. Only thing is no touchscreen, so you don't get that. And I think that's like kind of about it. It has Wi-Fi, so you can send it to your phone right away to be able to use. So if you make like social content, especially on the photography side, or you want a fantastic camera to just throw in your bag, it shoots 4K video. This is a wild thing. The only thing is not great for vlogging because there's no selfie screen. The screen doesn't like flip up, so you can't actually see yourself. If you want to do vlogging, Panasonic LX-10 is basically similar, just has a slightly smaller sensor, but a very fast lens as well. Not as many of these dials that the other ones have, but it's got the flip-up touchscreen, which is kind of cool. But anyway, just like for having a camera in my bag that I can just throw in here and know that in 95% of situations, I'm going to be able to take amazing photos for whatever I want to be able to do. It's awesome. Like, absolutely awesome. I want to play with it a little bit more, but I am pretty jacked to be able to try that out for a little bit. Somebody's asking about the Moza. So I ordered a Moza Air. That is like a handheld gimbal that when I put my cameras or like this bigger camera on there, it'll give me that super smooth motion. It's in the mail. I ordered it. I just wanted to update people. I bought a video stabilizer. I picked the Moza Air because it was like $600 US, which really wasn't bad. And all the reviews I saw of it was super smooth. And again, not everybody needs a gimbal. I've shot for a couple of years without a gimbal, but it will help me do some new cool things with that gimbal. What's really cool about the Moza Air is it has feet, so you can set the stabilizer down, put your camera on top of it, and control it from your phone, and either program like moving time lapses or program it to follow you or do some other things that I think are kind of interesting. So full review of this coming soon. The iPhone 10, I am going to actually make like a video just shooting on this, and that will come as well. And then once the Moza Air comes, there will be more videos on it. So I don't know, if you guys didn't figure this out, I just want an excuse to like hang out live on a Friday night with my wife texting me saying, "What doing?" And I'm gonna be like, "Hey, on YouTube live." So be done in 10 minutes. We'll say 10 minutes. 10 minutes. I don't know. What do you guys want to know about? What do you want to talk about that? Drummond is alive says, just tell him to grab any Rokinon with a 1.4 to 2.8 aperture. I like Rokinon lenses. The only thing is they don't have autofocus, which some people can get away with manual focus when vlogging. But for me, what I like is not to get locked in when you're vlogging too much time on your face. It's nice to like talk about your face for a little bit and then show your world, and talk about your face and show your world. And sometimes it's nice to do like little whips, like where you're talking about something, you're like, hey, yeah, check this out. And you just turn the camera on, and you want it to be able to then focus, as opposed to then having to like, you know, like try and dial it in and do that. Rokinons are amazing for like filmmaking, but I find for vlogging, maybe it works. I'd have to see somebody who you could get there and be able to master it well, but the manual focus is like one more thing to think about, when the number one thing you should be thinking about when you're vlogging is just how to be interesting, how to tell a good story, how to engage the audience, not worried about the settings on your camera and is it in focus, is it out of focus. That drives me crazy. A little bit crazy, but part of it is weird. Let's just see here what else we got. There's Super Chat. Yeah, you can sponsor this YouTube Live if you really want. Arbor, Michigan. I love Michigan. I was just hanging out with some friends from Michigan like 2 weekends ago for like 20 minutes. They were just passing through and we did a Skype afterwards. The Sony lenses do LOL. Yeah. Oh, the Sony Rokinon lenses do have autofocus. Yeah, that's probably true actually. With AF. I have wanted to check those out actually. I'm purchasing one for the camera shop this weekend. Now I want to go Google that again. I haven't checked in a little bit. I really, 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 really want Sony to just make a camera that has a flip out screen so we can see ourselves while adding a microphone. That would be amazing. Have I told you how impressed I am with the Rode Video Micro? That little, it's in a bag somewhere there. Crazy value for 59 bucks. 1Z Game says, just what you use to edit. Personally, I use Premiere Pro CC. That's what I use as well, actually. Part of me thinks about switching to Final Cut Pro because I've got a Mac. And when you export your videos on a Mac, it seems like it's like a third the amount of time. And like a big 4K project for me, like a 4K vlog will take like 40 minutes to output. And it looks like on Final Cut Pro, that'd be like 15 minutes. And I could go to bed 25 minutes earlier. That would be nice. But oh well. Oh well. Okay. I don't know. Maybe not like the world's most exciting YouTube Live, but thanks for coming and hanging out, you guys. I don't know. It's kind of been fun. Again, like more in-depth reviews of this stuff coming soon, but it seemed like a good excuse to be able to jump on here. Drummond is alive. Do you use an i7 or i5 processor? Yeah, this is a quad-core i7. It's one of these like Touch Bar MacBook Pros, and yeah, it should be faster, but it's as fast as it is. Young Boy says, have you tested the Zhiyun or however you spell it, and does it work on compacts? I haven't actually ever owned a gimbal or ever used a gimbal. I've only either seen people online. And the Zhiyun or whatever, however you say it, they look good as well and people like them. Just when I was looking at the Moza Air, there was a couple of times where I liked the way that it responded to motion a little bit better for the style of stuff that I would want to shoot. But they make some really good products too. So do they work for compacts? I know the Moza Air, your camera setup needs to be like at least 1.1 pounds. And if you're under that, then it's going to struggle because there's just not enough weight. And so for me, there may be times actually with my Sonys where I have to like weigh it down a little by like adding a recorder or something on top, depending. I might be on the edge there. Primarily, I'm going to be using it with this, my Sony a6500 and the Sigma 18-35, which is kind of a heavy lens. So I'll be fine there. Drummer's Life. I love my Karma grip for GoPro, Griot, but I think that's what we meant. And yeah, the Karma, what it does with the GoPros is amazing. I love watching like mountain bikers going down the hills and like they're jarring all over there and the footage is just like rock smooth. One Said Games gave me $2. Says, hey, I'd love to meet you. Honestly, I'm sure we will run into each other. Small city, it's going to happen for sure. Dang Theory says, wow, you got a 10. I have an iPhone 7. You know what? The thing is I think a lot more people will be upgrading from 6Ss to iPhone 10s because, I mean, maybe some people get to, you know, every year upgrade their phones. I don't typically do that. I just kind of use the 2-year cycles. And I've been stuck on the S cycle for so long. I had a 3GS, then I didn't get the 4. I got the 4S, didn't get the 5, got the 5S, didn't get the 6, got the 6S. Finally, I'm on a, like, proper number. iPhone 10. I don't know what they're going to do next. 10s? They go back to a 9? Pfft, who knows? Who knows? Anyway, I'm going to hang out with my wife this fine evening. You guys are awesome. Thank you for following the channel. We're creeping up on 5,000 subscribers, which I think is kind of amazing. So thank you guys for following along. And there's going to be a lot more stuff that comes. Last question, young boy, did you go to film school? Nope, I learned everything I know on YouTube. And a thing from Frono's Photo, aka Jared Polin. I bought a couple of his courses, which I found him on YouTube, learned lots from him, thought, I'll buy the courses. That is the only video training I have ever done. And that's going to be it. Derek Geiger on the Facebooks. I'm going to check you out. Marching band. Okay, Derek Geiger. I'm copying that right now. I'm going to go check this out. Okay, thanks for hanging out on this fine evening, you guys. You're the best. See you later. Bye.